Hey everyone, it is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, July 15th. We are intraday right now, and this is our weekly swing trade ideas video where we bring you some of the names from our watch list, stocks that are holding up well, showing some relative strength, and ideally are not yet too extended in their moves. As always, these videos are powered by our partners over at Investors Business Daily. We curate ideas from their stock lists. You can get access to their stock list with a link in the description of this video. So we're looking at 4 names today. We got 2 from IBD's watch list. We have 2 from our TR150 watch list. So let's jump into it here. SFM, this is the first stock idea for today, and if you recall, this was an idea way at the start of June. I believe June the 10th was when we first highlighted this particular stock. It was right in here, and we were discussing the long-term or certainly the year-to-date outlook. We had this nice pushback up towards highs. We were coming back into kind of the a messy area here, but nonetheless it was a constructive trend that was getting worked off sideways, and we had this nice healthy base developing under year-to-date highs, multi-year highs. And that story has basically continued here. You can see that the initial consolidation from the 10th, where we first talked about it, has continued. We got as low as around 22.30 or so. Buyers stepped in around this area. We rallied back up to the top end of this range, pulled back, and it looks like we're in the process of putting in a higher low right now, and that's why I think it's once again interesting here, as it is putting in some pretty good structure. It hasn't broken out yet. It's roughly at the same area we last talked about it, but I think it increasingly looks constructive here as it holds up, puts in these series of sort of higher lows and demonstrates support. And once again, I'd be looking for that momentum breakout over the low to mid 26s, as if we can start clearing above last week's highs, or if you want to use the pivot over here at 26.63 from early May, that works too. But Sprouts Farmers Market here I think is constructive acting, and I'd be paying attention to a potential breakout. Again, doesn't mean it has to break out, just means something we want to be paying attention to up in the low to mid 26s. So that's our first idea from IBD. Number 2 from IBD's list is DOYU, ticker symbol, and this is a recent listing here on the exchange. This is an ADR, so this is a natively Chinese listed company, I believe, in the esports media landscape here. And when I look at this particular stock, it had this, it had this nice breakout move over about $9.50 up to around $10 or so. If you really kind of scroll back, most of the supply in here traded since its listing in 2019 took place under about $9.50. So we got that breakout just about a month ago, and you can see it continued its rally all the way up to about 13, 14 and change. So it had a very strong move, really off of the lows from the first quarter, but certainly after it started to get this high volume breakout surge here, and it's starting to pull back a little bit. I think this is a lesser looked at name. These are the ideas we like to kind of showcase as sort of travel where not many other traders are talking about and are still fairly actionable. So DOYU, again, be aware that it is an ADR, and it is a company not listed directly, and probably kept up on earnings and everything else in the US, so there are some risks associated with it. But if we're looking at the technicals here, I think this fits the bill on a nice pullback setup here. Look for that higher low to kind of get demonstrated, trying to get some buyers stepping in yesterday around this $12 area, so we can pay attention to it and keep it on our watch list. Now the next 2 names come from our TR150 watch list, or at least I guess only one of these does. This one here, the second idea here is going to be an ETF. So IRTC, This comes from our watch list here. And again, if we zoom out and just take a look at the big picture, you can see we've got a nice uptrend here since its IPO in late 2016. It's been acting very constructive. And really, if we look at just this past month or two in May, is where we got this really impressive breakout over multi-year highs here, breaking out to multi-year all-time highs over 98, really call it $100. That was the big level to take notice here. And as we take a look at this stock now, you can see we got this beautiful sort of consolidation flag taking place above the long-term breakout over the $99 to $100 area. So for me, IRTC, I like this consolidation. I like this 2-day move right now that's sort of occurring in real time. And if we can start to clear over about $128, $130, that gets interesting there for a momentum trade, breakout trade to all-time highs with a trend at your back. So IRTC, that's coming from our watch list. And last but not least is XLV. So this is a sector ETF, not an individual stock, but I want to highlight it here just because the pattern is so clean and it is one of the more sort of actionable sectors out there right now. It hasn't been, completely ripping to the upside. It's not very overextended, and it is holding up just under prior all-time highs. So XLV, if I clear out this grid, you can see it is trying to make a move today. Jury is still out, of course, on whether or not we are going to hold and close at new highs. But clearly you can see this $104 area here is where XLV has been finding resistance, really all-time resistance, because in January and February, you can see we basically topped out here in this general zone. So we could basically just use this 103 all the way up to about 104, mid 104s. You can see this is where the stock topped out in January, February. This is where we hit in early June. This is what we're testing right now. So XLV, let's pay attention to this area here. And of course, you could drill down to some of the components within the XLV if you want some more beta or if you want some more kind of higher performing stocks in a potentially leading breakout sector. So that is it. Those are the 4 trade ideas for this week. Remember, it is earnings season, so double check all of these earnings dates and any other holdings that you have. You don't want to be surprised with a company waking up to a stock that has reported earnings. So do your homework on these names, make sure they fit your time frame and strategy, and I hope you enjoyed. So thanks as always for tuning in and watching. Every Wednesday we do trade ideas just like this. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us at The Trade Risk. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you back here on Friday for the market recap video.